بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين. Personally, I don't like getting into such debates, into such discussions, but sometimes without talking about these things, the issue will not be clarified. We know that according to authentic hadiths in the books of Ahlus-Sunnah, attacking the house of Lady Fatima was by the direct command of the first Khalifa. And the one who practiced it was the second Khalifa and the people with him. The people may say that no, they were nice with each other, they were relatives and so and so. But when we look at the way that second Khalifa used to treat others, even the Prophet and the ladies, we see that it is not unlikely from him to do such an act, especially for something that they considered it very important, and it was the issue of Khilafah. Umar Al Khattab used to get angry and react rough and harsh and hard for things that were much less important than the issue of Khilafah and successorship. Ahmad ibn Hanbal mentions this, volume 5, page 216. It's the story of Ruqayya, the daughter of the Prophet, passed away. Now imagine the Prophet is there sitting and crying. Lady Fatima, Ahlul Bayt are there, and they were crying for the loss of Ruqayya. فقال ألحقي. Then the Prophet was there and people were talking. وبكت النساء. Then women were crying. فجعل عمر يضربهن بصوته. Umar started beating the ladies, ladies of household of the Prophet. Umar started beating them before the eyes of the Prophet. And the Prophet said, فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لعمر دعهن يبكين. Umar, let them cry. What do you want? Let them cry. فإياكن ونغي الشيطان. Of course, do not shout like the shout of shaitan. There is another story mentioned by Abdul Razzaq al-Sana'ani in his Musannaf, volume 5, page 449, regarding the issue of Umar being appointed by Abu Bakr. Ma'amar, one of the Mufassirin of Ahlus-Sunnah, 2nd and 3rd century, narrates from Zuhari and Qasim ibn Muhammad and Asma bint Umays. Asma bint Umays was the wife of Abu Bakr. She was a very respected lady. After Abu Bakr, she married to Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. قالت دخل رجل من المهاجرين على أبي بكر. One of Muhajirin came to Abu Bakr وهو شاكٍ, and he was complaining. فقال استخلفت عمر. Are you going to appoint Umar? وقد كان عتنا علينا. He was hard with us. He was harsh with us. ولا سلطان له. While he was not of any authority and power. لو قد ملكنا لكان أعتى علينا وأعتى. And if he's about to be the Khalifa and he was going to be the authority upon us, he will be even worse and worse. People felt that he's going to cause problem and he's such a person. In Tarikh al-Tabari, volume 3, page 423, narrated from Saad ibn Ubadah. When Abu Bakr passed away, so Aisha had a majlis, they were crying for Abu Bakr. So Aisha gathered ladies in her house crying for the demise and passing away of Abu Bakr. فأقبل عمر بن الخطاب. Umar came to the door and he said, do not cry. You shouldn't cry for Abu Bakr. Aisha was the person that they themselves, they say that whenever they had a question, they used to refer to Aisha. So according to the criteria of Ahlus-Sunnah, you cannot say that Aisha didn't know halal and haram. فأبين أن ينتهين. Ladies were crying, they didn't listen. Then Umar said to Hisham bin Walid, go among the ladies and push the sister of Abu Bakr outside. فقالت عائشة لهشام حين سمعت ذلك من عمر. When Aisha heard that Umar is saying this to Hisham, said, إني أحرج عليك بيتي. I do not let you inside my house. And they claim that the house of Aisha is the house of the Prophet. So the house of the Prophet, Aisha said, I don't let you inside. And فقال عمر لهشام ادخل. فقد أذنت لك. Umar said, no, I'm telling you, get inside, do not listen to her. Then Hisham went inside. فأخرج أم فروة أخت أبي بكر. Then Hisham took فروة, the sister of Abu Bakr, to Umar. فعلاها بالدروة. Then Umar started beating the sister of Abu Bakr. فضربها ضربات. So he beat her several times. تفرق النوح حين سمعوا ذلك. Automatically, ladies were afraid and everybody got quiet out of fear. The hadith is mursal, but the point is that according to ulama of Ahlus-Sunnah, they say that any hadith which is mursal from Saad ibn Ubadah, that hadith is accepted, and they consider mursalat from Saad ibn Ubadah to be sahih. Again, Musannaf Abdul Razzaq al-Sana'ani, volume 3, page 556, and Ibn Uyayna and Amr ibn Dinar. He says, when Khalid bin Walid passed away, So they gathered in the house of Maymuna. Maymuna was the wife of the Prophet, one of the wives of the Prophet. So ladies were there crying for Khalid bin Walid. Then Umar came with Abdullah bin Abbas. Then he had the lash with him. And he said to Abdullah bin Abbas that go inside and ادخل على أم المؤمنين. Go inside the house of المؤمنين ميمونة فأمرها فلتحتجب, and command her to wear her hijab, and take the ladies, the other women outside, bring them to me. فجعل يخرجهن. Abdullah bin Abbas went inside and brought the ladies out. وهو يضربهن بالدرة. And Umar started beating them one after the other. فسقط خمار امرأة منهن. One of the ladies, when Umar was beating her, her hijab was removed. And the people said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen khimaraha. They said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, her hijab, look, she lost her hijab. Then Umar said, Ta'uha bala hurmata laha. Don't care about it. She is not important. There is no hurma, there is no respect for her. As-Sana'ani says, وَكَانَ مَأْمَرْ يُؤْجَبُ مِنْ قَوْلِهِ لَا حُرْمَةَ لَهَا. Ma'mar, the Mufassir of Ahlus-Sunnah, he used to be surprised that what does it mean when Umar said, لَا حُرْمَةَ لَهَا? There is no respect for this woman. Why? In another story which is mentioned in Musnad Ahmad Hanbal, volume 1, page 275, he mentions that Ash'as ibn Qais narrates that I was the guest of Umar. Then at night when I was in Umar's house, فَتَنَاوَلَ إِمْرَأَتَهُ فَضَرَبَهَا. Umar started beating his wife. Then after beating her, maybe Ash'as was surprised. In order to justify what he did, Umar said, Ya Ash'as, keep 3 things from me. I heard them from the Prophet. So you see now, in order to justify what he did, he says, I heard these things from the Prophet. What was that? He said, لا تسأل الرجل فيما ضرب امرأته. Do not ask a man why he is beating his wife. When Hakim Nayshaburi about this hadith says, هذا صحيح صحيح الإسناد ولم يخرج. The hadith is sahih according to conditions of Muslim and Bukhari, but they didn't mention it. In Al-Mustadrak al-Sahihain, volume 4, page 194. And Maqdisi also in Ahadith al-Mukhtar, he mentions this story in volume 1, page 189. There he mentions the hadith with another term. He says, لا يسأل الرجل فيما ضرب امرأته. A man shouldn't be questioned that why he beat his wife. Aisha in Sahih Muslim, volume 4, page 1814. Aisha قالت ما ضرب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم شيئا قط بيده. Rasulullah never hit or beat anything with his hand. ولا امرأة, no woman. He never beat a woman. ولا خادما, even the servants, he never beat them. In Sunan ibn Majah, volume 1, page 636, he narrates from Rasulullah that خياركم خياركم لنسائهم. The best of you are those who are the nicest to their women, to their wives. This was their character. It has been mentioned that when Umar wanted to get married to Kulsum, daughter of Abu Bakr, Kulsum said, لا حاجة لي فيه, I don't like him. إنه خشن العيش خشن العيش. He has a very harsh life, he's a very hard person. شديد على النساء, he's very hard with women. فأرسلت عائشة إلى عمرو بن العاص. Aisha asked Amr ibn al-As and said that Omar is to get married to my sister, we don't like him, do something for us. So you see that he was of such a character that women were afraid of getting married to him. In Al-Kamil fi Tarikh Ibn Asir, volume 2, page 432, he mentions that asked to get married to Aban bint at Utbah, فكرهته, but she didn't like him. وقالت يغلق بابه. He's a man who closes his door. Nobody comes, no guest, nobody comes and goes. وَيَمْنَأُ خَيْرَهُ, no goodness to come from him to people. وَيَدْخُلُ آبِسًا وَيَخْرُجُ آبِسًا. He's a man that comes frowning and goes frowning. So I don't like to get married to such a person. In Sahih Bukhari, you see that even when behaving, talking to the Prophet, he used to be of such manner and character. The famous story that he said, إِنَّ الرَّجُلَ لا يهجر أو قد قلبه البجا. نعوذ بالله. This is the Prophet, the last days of the life of the Prophet, in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, that Umar said that the Prophet is saying nonsense, and when the Prophet said, bring me book and a pen and I write something that you will not be misguided. Then he said he is saying nonsense. In Saqifa, Tariq Tabari mentions, volume 3, page 222, that there were people who were not happy with paying allegiance to Abu Bakr. One of them was Saad ibn Ubadah. He was the head of Ansar actually. Then Umar was forcing people to pay allegiance to Abu Bakr. Then there was a dispute between them. Saad was so old that he couldn't walk properly. Tabari narrates from Hisham that when Bani Aslam came, when there was a deal between the Khulafa and them to give them what they needed and they to force people to pay allegiance to Abu Bakr. And Omar says that when Bani Aslam came, I was sure that we will win. So when they came and they forced people to pay allegiance, now there is a crowd and Saad ibn Ubadah, he was in the pressure in the crowd. فقال عمر اقتلوه قتله الله. Kill him, may Allah kill Saad. ثم قام على رأسه فقال لقد هممت أن أتأك حتى تندر عضدك. I decided to beat you to the extent to break your arms. This is Omar talking to a great Sahabi like Saad. They say all Sahaba were nice, we shouldn't talk negative about them. And Umar was saying that I'm gonna break your arms. When he said that, فَأَخَذَ سَعْدٌ بِلَحْيَةُ Umar. Then Saad grasped the beard of Umar. Then Umar said, وَاللَّهِ لَوْ حَسَسْتَ مِنْهُ شَعْرَةً مَا رَجِعْتَ وَفِي فِيكَ وَازَحَ. If you pull out one hair of my beard, I will break all the teeth in your mouth. Then Abu Bakr said, oh, stop it, Umar, enough. So with such a character and such a mentality that he used to be angry and aggressive for small things and to beat people for small things. So we shouldn't be surprised when they attack the house of Amirul Mu'mineen and Lady Fatima.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.